Hi everybody, this is Snow and Shushu. Shushu's been having some issues tonight. So you can probably notice I'm wearing the same outfit I was when I was playing Super Mario RPG. That's because it's the same night and I don't feel like being done playing games. But I want to play Stray Gods. But I got pretty throaty with the Toad voices and with the enemy voices, so I made myself some tea. And we're just gonna play. So trigger warning for people who deal with PTSD. I suffer from it too. I'm gonna be going into a section where there is a character that deals with PTSD. I'm gonna try to get the most favorable ending from her as possible. Sorry, Shushu's not quite in the shot. Yeah, there he is. I'm gonna try to get the most favorable outcome from her. I'm gonna try my best to kind of mirror my first playthrough because I was successful. If not, the alternative is still okay, but yeah. Trigger warning for people with PTSD, and I have plenty of thoughts about it because I have it. So, anyway, let's just get started. Let's just have a good chill time. I'm like still feeling good from playing Mario, so I just want to keep going. Oh, maybe we should talk to some other characters first. Yeah, we can talk to Seth. I'll call her Seth. She's gonna be our love interest. Might as well call it back.
Soon, Grace? You're practically a regular at the club.
Yeah, I just came from a chat with Medusa and...
A chat with Medusa. That's a surprise.
I know what
Sorry,
you're
I'm just
thinking,
checking my
but
audio.
it was fine. Maybe I'd better explain what happened.
I knew it. We never should have brought that monster to the New World. Athena's a fool to think Medusa can be controlled. You're fortunate to have made it out in one piece. It could have gone very poorly for you.
Well, Medusa's like, it's Athena's fault that Medusa is the way that she is. And like some of the stories said that Athena cursed Medusa to become like that. Like actually Medusa was like a priestess, and like Apollo and no, not Apollo. Poseidon and Athena had a feud. So he like raped Medusa in Athena's temple, and Athena punished Medusa even though she was the victim. At least that's like one of the stories. It's like with anything that's like old in mythology and legend, is there's many different versions of the same story. Yeah. Ooh.
You're right. I should have brought you to protect little old defenseless me.
Oh, if I'd gone, you would have found nothing more than an empty building, I assure you.
Because you're so big and scary.
I'm glad you appreciate my finer qualities.
At any rate, Medusa might be in the clear. Pan, however, is not.
Pan might admit something unintentionally, but he can be too clever. Let me give some thought to our next step. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
Yeah, will you marry me? Okay. Well, she can
Tell
tell
me
me
more
shit.
about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were. And if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? Such a stupid name.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Hell yeah.
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the Muses, it happened frequently. Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with surrounding yourself with people that you like. You know? Yeah. But, people are more than groupies. Yeah, I love this game, like, how it deals with, like, gender and gender identity and, like, sexuality and things like that. Like, all different kinds of people. It's, like, I identify as pansexual. And, like, I'm one of those people that's, like, I like to play around with masculinity and I like to play around with femininity. It's fun, and, we all have masculine and feminine traits, no matter what gender identity we have. It's not binary. Nothing is black and white, right? So, I like how this game handles that, and, like, it would make sense that the Muses would change genders a lot. Because, like, in my eyes, like, when you're, like, an artistic person, like, that kind of shit doesn't really matter to you. It's about the heart. That's why I identify as pansexual, is because I'm attracted to people's hearts and their souls, and not so much what's between their legs, because that's just kind of arbitrary in my opinion. Like, it doesn't determine, like, who a person is. It's just chromosomes, like, yeah. Yeah. And it means, like, if someone is non-binary or trans, like, I'm like, do what makes you happy, and, like, what makes you feel the most yourself, Like, if you were born the wrong gender, like, I love it when people find themselves. But, yeah, like, we could say the Muses are gender fluid. Or we can say it just didn't matter. And I love that.
If you disliked the Muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
She sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Oh.
Wow. Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in.
Like I said before, she has a soft center.
Furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. It made taking her in all the sweeter.
I do have something to say about that. I have something to say about everything. Like, I really relate to Calliope a lot. Like, not just because I'm artistic like she is with, like, art and music. And, like, being an influence and questioning the norm and, calling for change. Shoo shoo. But also, like, I had to do that. I had to declare my own independence and come all the way here to South Korea. And, I plan on traveling more, and I plan on living in more places, but, like, I needed help, and sometimes I still need help. We're human beings and we need each other's help, but, like, yeah, sometimes we just need to declare independence from toxic people in our lives. And choose people that can help us, who understand how that is, and who care about us. So.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols.
I meant the other one.
Now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question. To which the answer is, nobody knows.
Oh, I love that answer.
I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. Was there something before her? How did she get her idol on? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
After you took Calliope in,
It's like,
that's when you
who was
became
first
friends?
chicken or the egg?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club.
Oh, hell yeah.
Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. It's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
Okay, sorry, I have way too much to say. Yeah, I can relate to that too, because, like, publicly, probably, like, I'm a chill person. I don't go online to start up shit, and I don't go online and start, like, engaging in comments. It just gets very ugly and illogical really fast. And, like, I'm definitely, like, present myself as a very happy-go-lucky, bubbly, quirky kind of personality, and I do have a chill side, but I can rant and rave, and I get pissed off and annoyed really easily if I see or hear something that's unjust, or, like, affects people that I care about, but it's like, she only, like, got to meet Calliope for, like, 5 minutes. That's not an accurate representation of, like, a person. Yeah. But by the sounds of it, Grace and Calliope really weren't that different. Calliope saw that, and that's why she chose her.
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
That would be awesome.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
No, they're real.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however. We have many. And the last was the day Zeus called us all together to tell us Rome had fallen and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later, in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period the gap. That's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and not one of us knows why or how.
See, that is a very interesting plot point. Because if you look at history, like, there was like Mesopotamia, and then there was Egypt, and then Greece, and then Rome, and there was just this progression, like democracy was created, and like, all this shit, and like writing systems and philosophy, and there was, these theologies going on, and then suddenly Rome fell, and then we were put in the Dark Ages, and then there was like Celtics and barbarians, and like all that kind of shit, and then people turned to Christianity, and then finally like 16th century, the Renaissance, people started getting their shit together again, and started like going back to progress, right? So it is interesting that like there's that gap period for these idols, and it like makes me wish that it was explained, like later. Or maybe there's gonna be another game. I hope there'll be another game, because I think that would be interesting to delve into that.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was, but perhaps I was completely unaware. All I know is that one day, Athena came to my nunnery.
Nunnery?
Near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained. Zeus, however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
Okay, now that I'm hearing it from her perspective and not Apollo's, that is very suspicious. That she saw Athena and it came back. And she was in a nunnery of all places. That sucks. And I guess like during Rome, Zeus was Jupiter in Rome. So Rome fell, something happened to Zeus, and then they like passed on their eidolons for like 1,000 years and didn't realize it or didn't remember, and then Athena just wakes up on her own. Oh yeah. Athena has some explaining to do with that one. Definitely. But that's gotta be like super unnerving. Like I've had surgery before, and I was put under, obviously. And when I woke up, that was like super unnerving. Like I actually like freaked out when I woke up, and I wanted to get out of the hospital as soon as possible. And that was like a few hours of being put under. And I can't imagine like 1,000 years of like a gap. Oh, that would just fuck with you.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just
Incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
that, yeah.
One might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it. I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen, but Hades himself terrified me. He
Right,
had
Shusha.
a presence, one that forever made him the most important man in the room. Me?
She was reacting to that.
Was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
That's so fucking sad. It's always the charismatic seeming ones that, you know, have a presence and they act like they're the most important person in the room, and then they give you that little bit of attention and you're just like, oh, like I feel so good. They love me and blah 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 blah. But it's like, really? And like the gaslighting, I was like, oh, kidnapping me was the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's fucking kidnapping and forcing her to marry him. You know, and he gaslit her so much and made her think like, you know, like, oh, like he's giving me all this shit. He feels this way about me. And just to realize like he's a narcissistic asshole. Like, yeah, it's like definitely be suspicious of the charming ones who try to act like the most important person in the room and then just try to charm the shit out of you. Those are usually the people that are just pieces of shit, you know.
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did.
Yeah.
I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that, you know, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It is all about control. Like, you know, maybe they feel like they have a lack of it. They feel insecure. They, you know, want to subjugate and control someone and make them feel as small as possible. And make you feel like you need them. And that you're their position. I don't blame her. Don't condone murder, but I really don't blame her. Like, I know people like that.
That's all I can think of for now.
Oh, shit.
I'll see you around.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's where I'll be. Around.
Can I go back? I'm gonna talk. I want to talk to her again. I missed. It's so tricky.
I didn't realize Come By Any Time would be taken so literally, Grace. Something specific on your mind?
Yes.
I
Okay.
the other idols
Thank
weren't
God.
thrilled with you killing Hades.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? Lie down and take it forever? because Hades was more useful to them alive? No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
This raises a lot of questions for me that probably might be plot holes. First she answered a question that I had is, when did she kill him? Like, was it before the gap or after? And she said it was before the war. So, like, World War II. I think. Yeah, I think it was World War II. So, like, during the gap, where was Hades? You know? Like, she was still married to him during the gap, I'm assuming. So, like, where was he? And how did she end up in a nunnery? I don't know. I have a lot of questions about this. Yeah.
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you, but he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
So where
That's
is
all I can
he?
think of for now. I'll see you around.
Oh, yes, that's where I'll be. Around.
Yeah, my parents come from the disco era. My mom was super into disco dance. It's actually how my parents met. But yeah, definitely short-lived. But we are seeing a resurgence of disco in music, which is cool. Disco is good. I like disco. Not as much as other genres, but you know, disco's a product of other genres anyway.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse.
That's cute.
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having.
I've been having them
Everyone
with
else
you.
okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
Oh, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Cass is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things.
And where is Kaz sleep?
Oh. Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
Cute.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this
Justice.
coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name.
Don't do that.
Or two, we get back to it and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
I doubt that it's just her that always has shit going on.
Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddie?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today, or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's gotta be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
Do you know anything about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9, though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses
Paul said
had
3.
her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Wow. I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right at least.
Did she
That's true.
also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
Love it. I should have been Calliope. I love poetry.
What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess
More
of
like
heroes.
strategy.
There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Not being as wise as advertised is on
spiders.
brand for her then.
I was actually wondering the other day, because I love Artemis too. I'm like, where the fuck is Artemis in this? They missed a bunch of gods.
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog race. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
Bisexual
I
king.
mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
No, Apollo chased like a nymph. Well, Daphne turned into a tree. I'm not sure about that one. I'd have to look it up. But I just know the Bernini sculpture, Apollo and Daphne. He was chasing her and she turned into a tree.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
People
It
change.
must be hard to be defined by
Trauma.
this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true.
That's not the reason why she's pissed. The reason why she's pissed was because she was kidnapped and married to a narcissist for centuries. Thousands of years even. And no one did anything about it. And then when she killed him, they ostracized her. That would make anyone pissed off.
You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into sort of lustfulness and earthiness.
Can be.
Pumping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil. Weirdly,
Is
he's
it
also
the
the only
horns?
god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
I love her.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there's never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
Me? I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost. But also, what might still be out there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was raised Christian because Mormons are Christians. They're a cult of Christianity. But, like, they believe in the Bible. Which is bullshit, but I don't want to offend people. Okay. But, you know, like, in the Bible is, like, people worshipped idols and golden calves, and, like, that was the word that was thrown around. And then, like, I live in Korea, and there's K-pop idols. Like, it just means, you know, someone that, like, you revere, I think. But the eidolon being, like a word for ghost, I think makes sense. They're, like, passing on that spirit.
You think there might be other gods out there?
Well, there are all those gods the idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know? Then there are all the other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right? All those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols. And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
It's like a whole other secret side to the world.
That's cool, right? I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi?
Are they Hindu gods? I don't know. I need to learn more about, like, Hinduism. It'd be interesting. Okay.
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
I'm just delaying the inevitable
To say, I'm giving you the quick
Aphrodite
version.
story.
There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Because it's so old.
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so you have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline. Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right.
Here's what I think about aliens. Like, I'm not like, oh, they're like Daleks or, you know, whatever, like Doctor Who, or I hate Star Wars. I like Star Trek. I like Star Trek and Doctor Who. Like, I don't think they're like these, you know, creatures that are like out to destroy humanity or whatever. Like, I'm like, the universe is constantly expanding, right? And in our solar system, like, our planet's the only one that's livable, right? So there's probably like millions, billions of planets just like in the expanding universe that probably can sustain life too. And if they have found us, like, you know, if advanced evolved beings that are similar to us, I'm sure they would look at our planet that's dying and look at what humanity has done to each other and be like, no. I don't want this shit. And that's what I imagine.
Okay, that's
But,
enough questions
yeah.
for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving.
Okay, let's go. Let's go to Aphrodite's party. I'm gonna cry. Just, yeah, it's not because I have PTSD.
Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace totally not dressed for the occasion? Check. Now, if only I knew what I was supposed to be doing here.
Grace, you're here.
He's not dressed
Yeah,
for the occasion
I'm
either.
invited, aren't I?
I'm just surprised you even knew it was happening.
Persephone said I should come to this. Whatever this is.
Persephone didn't tell you. Why am I not surprised?
Get over it, dude. Should I stir the pot?
I came to see you, Apollo, and I don't recall you mentioning it. Persephone said it could help.
You don't have any of Calliope's memories, right? No deja vu recollections that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
So that's kind of a mindfuck.
Seems like the sort of thing you should tell a new idol.
New idols are usually chosen. You would know about this already, except
Calliope was murdered.
remember how old we all are. There are so many memories, so the veil lifts gradually to protect you. Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
I'm now thinking of Doctor Who. I hung out with people that talked about it last weekend. But it's like, there's like different doctors, they like pass on their thing and they assume a new form. I imagine it's like kind of like that. I don't know. I have to choose.
I have a hard time believing I'll forget who I am.
You won't stop being you. You'll just also be everyone else who isn't you.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. Passing on her eidolon is a way to forget for a while. That's what this party is for.
I'll talk more about that later. I've shared my thoughts on my TikTok before, and it's in the compilation, but I'll talk more about that later.
She doesn't have any other options? Therapy, pills, social media?
No, don't go to
If she
social
hasn't
media
tried
for
all
that.
those things, perhaps you could ask her about them.
It just seems extreme, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is, however, an extreme situation. For idols, our memories can become a prison. This is how Aphrodite chooses to escape.
Which, I get that. That would be horrific to carry around like thousands of years of memories and trauma, and especially like of a war. Like, I don't have that kind of PTSD. Yeah, like that's hard, but also just I would not put like the PTSD I have, the memories I have, I would not give that to anybody. Just to forget for a bit. Like, it's not a good solution. It's a temporary solution, and it affects other people and hurts other people instead of dealing with the trauma directly. And overcoming it. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but I go to therapy. I don't know. I'll talk more about it later.
This isn't the first time Aphrodite's done this. She's held this kind of gathering before, right?
This is her fourth, I think, perhaps fifth.
So every time the veil, whatever you call it, when it starts to lift,
Aphrodite's memories return, and eventually it is too much. We gather to pay our respects and to honor the past while she still remembers it.
Mm. I mean, like, I can definitely empathize and sympathize with her. It's horrible. It's really, really horrible to be lost in that. But to bring 4 people into that and to give them those exact memories just to suffer and then pass on their... I couldn't. I definitely couldn't.
Wait. Persephone said Calliope always refused to come to these parties.
She refused on principle. Everything Calliope did was on principle.
Mm.
She believed Aphrodite was indulging her sadness,
Sure.
wallowing in it. She
Sure.
thought Aphrodite should try harder. It was a point of contention between them. Aphrodite will be grateful you're here. Trust me.
Seems like Grace is, like, better at, like, influencing instead of, like, arguing. And well, she could be that way. I don't know.
Do you support what Aphrodite is doing here?
It's not my choice to make, Grace.
Yeah, but you must.
That's very
have an
passive.
opinion.
Yeah.
Eventually you will remember what we experienced during the war. And eventually you will remember that what Aphrodite experienced was far worse. If this is the mercy she requires, I will not tell her she should not take it.
I mean, I get that. It is her choice, you know, and that should be respected. But she's putting this on other people. That's the problem. Like, you know, like, I tell my friends and, you know, and, like, you know, confide in them. And I also have my therapist, which I, you know, do more because she's a trained professional, you know, and she's equipped for that. So it's like I am kind of putting my shit on other people, but I'm not giving it to them. That's the thing. So it's like you can, you know, say these things like, oh, like, you know, it's not my choice to make. It's, you know, her choice, and like she's suffered a lot. Yeah, like there's no arguing that, you know, and she's an adult. But it's like you could still have an opinion and go like, yeah, but it's not a solution that's, you know, it's a very temporary solution. It hurts the people around her and it hurts her. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I don't know, Apollo. I don't like the
There's
whole idea.
gotta be a better way.
You want her help, don't you?
Yes, but
At least speak with Aphrodite before you make a final decision. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
mingling.
Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
Exactly. Like, you know, be an empathetic person. Like, sure, like, Grace has enough shit going on. She has now less than a week to clear her name and to figure out who murdered Calliope, right? And, you know, she does need to talk to Aphrodite about that. But this party is about Aphrodite passing on her memories and her trauma to someone else. And, like, passing on, like, her quote-unquote soul, if you can call it that. And her eidolon. putting this onto someone else, even though, like, the veil will be there, temporarily for, 5-10 years? Something like that. However long. That's what this party is about, and that's why Grace is there. Her stuff's secondary. Because that's just Grace's life, not, Aphrodite, this would be her 5th time. I don't know, I just don't agree with Apollo.
Grace.
Hey, Eros. Nice to... Oh, okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
Are you okay? You seem a bit...
Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you.
No, it's okay.
It's been a bad week.
I'm saying that to him as if I'm actually there, but it's like, I know how he feels. I know exactly how he feels. I've been in that situation, and I was for a long time.
From the sounds of it, this happens a lot.
Every 20 years or so. That's how long she can hold out until she just can't stand it anymore. Every time, Aphrodite forgets. At least for a while. But I don't. I remember everything. I'm there for the nightmares, the panic attacks, the days she doesn't even remember the war's over. And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not just her that's dealing with this. He's the one that's constantly there for her while she's going through it and remembering. And it's not a position I would recommend anyone to be in,
Is it okay if I ask what happened? I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
I know, but it happened to Aphrodite, not me. It's not my story to tell.
If I know what she was dealing with, I might be able to help.
Could you? I suppose it wouldn't hurt.
That's why we're here.
What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jack-booted mortals so full of themselves and their supremacy, and he told them about the idols. Then they came for us. Took us completely by surprise. Some they killed, but Aphrodite, her they captured.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
That's okay. This isn't mentioned, this aspect of it, but like in the stories, like Aphrodite and Ares actually have an affair. And like Hephaestus eventually like catches them and throws a fit. But yeah, like they were in love for a long time. And so for Ares to do this, because it's obvious he loved war. He didn't love her, he loved war. And like she got captured. That's just more salt in the wound. The fact that they were lovers at some point.
Aphrodite was captured, but she's here now. So she must have escaped.
She didn't. Do you know the name Hephaestus?
No. Should I?
God of smiths. He could make anything, any tool or weapon. He was Aphrodite's husband, and he adored her. When he found out the mortals were torturing her, he went mad. He was determined to save her.
They tortured her?
Nothing extreme, I'm told. They were too frightened, but they were also determined to wring every last secret out of her. So, who knows how long that fear would have lasted. Thus, Hephaestus made a deal.
With the, jackbooted guys.
No, with their enemies. That's what saved her.
Then this deal is how Aphrodite survived.
It's how we all survived. It's what brought us to the new world. Hephaestus saved us all. We never saw him again. That was the deal. He would leave, make their precious weapons, and never look back. Aphrodite never even got to say goodbye. It's funny, because Aphrodite didn't even like Hephaestus when they were married. She seemed to resent every minute they were together. But now he's all she can think about.
Is there no other way? Does Aphrodite really need to...
To die? I've asked that so many times. She's tried magic, drugs, psychotherapy, meditation, everything we could possibly think of.
Has she tried
For a
EMDR?
while, she'll deny anything's wrong. It all seems fine, and I start to hope. Maybe this time will be different. Then the nightmares begin, and the memories return. More with each passing day until... I hate it, but I see her agony. I can't deny her this.
Nightmares are the worst. I hate them. It is and it isn't.
Maybe I just don't understand, but... Isn't this, like, suicide?
Some of the idols have committed suicide. They let themselves die without passing on their idol
I
on.
might have to mute that because of YouTube.
What happens?
What you'd expect. They're gone. Forever. Mother says she can't do that. She won't. Not until she sees Hephaestus again, I suspect. Not that what's happening here is anything casual. She still has to die. For a while.
God.
You sound like you don't approve of what Aphrodite's doing.
What I want is for her to not hurt anymore. What I want is for this to end. She'll ask you to use your power as part of the celebration. Could you use it to inspire her?
What's that help?
I can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to, Eros.
That's not what I'm asking. I believe that deep down, she doesn't want to do this any longer. She must see it isn't working. She just needs the strength to try. Or I hope that's all she needs.
Here's the thing about PTSD that I didn't mention before. I think like the science behind it, at least how I've experienced it and how people I know and I'm close to have experienced it, is you'll have like a traumatic event or a series of traumatic events. And your brain can't handle it. Your brain can't handle processing it. So you just kind of put like a block there. Like a wall. But like a walls erode over time, and it's kind of like a dam, right? Once the dam breaks, the flood comes, and then it's just overwhelming. So you add this like veil thing where the idol's memories come rushing back in a flood, then that's just compounding it, the PTSD and the veil. So it actually, I would make the case that it's making things worse.
I'll try, if you think it'll do some good.
I don't know if it will. I just find it hard to believe it could get any worse.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Yeah, don't say that.
Tell me about it. Do whatever you think is right, Grace. And thank you.
I hope I can get her to not do it. I was successful in my first playthrough, but also in my first playthrough, Asterion and Hecate got together. And in this playthrough, they didn't. She took away his love for her, his romantic love for her. So I'm just gonna have to try to stick as close as I can to what I did in my original playthrough. But we can talk to Apollo, because I'm not quite ready yet.
I know all these people, Grace. For as long as I can remember, I've known them. Yet sometimes I feel like I don't know any of them at all. Or they me.
You don't enjoy these family gatherings, do you?
Are they family gatherings like the sort mortals have?
You call each other sister and brother and mother.
Well, yes, but...
And you've been together like 100 times longer than I lived with my family. All you're missing is a drunk uncle everyone has to apologize for.
That would be Pan. But yes, I feel very much out of place.
Oh, family gatherings aren't fun.
That's kind of sad.
What is?
Spending an eternity among people you can't even stand to be with at a party.
Yeah.
Well, now I need another drink.
If I didn't have a migraine, I would totally want to drink it.
I spoke to Eros. He's pretty broken up over all this.
Oh, poor Eros. Each new successor, his hopes rise up once more.
Yeah.
And then he watches the new Aphrodite crumble, piece by piece, only to start all over again. It's so different from the olden days. Once he was the eternal disaster, and Aphrodite kept constant vigil over him.
Maybe he feels like he owes her.
I think he's followed her into a dark void, and somewhere deep down believes he deserves no better.
I should get back out there.
It's a really hard position to be in. But, you know, he does deserve better. So does she. But yeah, he deserves better. Like, it's hell. It's hell to watch and be there for someone that you love suffering like that. So you gotta think of yourself too. Her dress is so beautiful at the bottom. And she has a cape. I forgot what those sleeves are called.
Having you all here, gathered once again to see me off, it moves me more than I can say. My loves, my darlings, my dearest friends.
Great voice actress.
And you. Oh, my dear sweet thing. I dare not hope that you, with all your troubles, might sing me to my sleep. Yet here you are. Yet here she is.
Her eyes are also really cool. Okay. I'm getting distracted. Maybe she just needs a shoo-shoo. Emotional support animals can definitely help. When they don't have a bad diarrhea problem. It's been a rough night for you, baby.
It's lovely to meet you, Aphrodite. Properly, this time.
Ah, yes. Poor Calliope. Such a loss to us all. I shall miss her dearly. To have come so far, only... No, it doesn't bear thinking about. It's too much.
Is this Grace, my lady? The new muse?
Oh, what manners I have. Grace, Grace. Meet the lovely mortal woman who shall tonight become the new me.
Hi, my name's Venus, and yes, it really is Venus. Nice to meet you, Grace.
She's sweet.
Hi. I have to admit, it'll be weird watching this happen the proper way.
Because I'm chosen?
Yeah, I wasn't. Not like this, anyhow.
Yeah, Lady Aphrodite told me. I'm so sorry, that sounds awful.
There will be so much time for you lovelies to speak later. Now, we must prepare for my departure.
Are you sure we can't talk first? I really need your help, Aphrodite.
I know you do, my dear. I wish I could be there for you, but I'm afraid my time
It was worth
is
a
up.
try.
But since you've shown such kindness in coming, I will ask Eros to make himself available to you afterwards. There's nothing I know that he does not. He is my son, my truest friend, my longest love.
You're putting too much on him, honey.
A little distracted.
Yeah.
Eros has been through this before, Grace. He knows what must be done.
I know she's dealing with her shit. And it's horrible, unimaginable. But how can she not see what this is doing to her son? Then again, yeah, it's possible she's not. Okay. This, I can't use that option. That's too abrasive.
I have to admit, it's not clear what my part in all this is supposed to be.
How could it be? You've barely just arrived, darling girl. How did you even find out about it?
That would be Persephone's doing.
Apollo! Oh, you've come after all.
You look remarkably well, cousin.
I've had a great deal of time to prepare. I assure you that would not be the case. As for you, Grace, have you gathered the true purpose of tonight's gathering?
To ease your suffering? To forget about what happened?
An escape into the soothing blackness. To swim in Lethean waters. At least for a time.
Does it help?
I don't know. Each Aphrodite before me begged for mercy. This is all I can do for all of us. Even so, tonight is not about the pain.
If your answer is I don't know, then
It is about honoring the
It's not.
memory of what was while that memory still persists. Go, enjoy the gathering, Grace. Tell me when you're ready to begin.
yeah, if like you ask, does this work, and you say I don't know, then it doesn't. I don't know. That's what I think. And it's like, oh, it's the only thing I can do. No. No, if you've done it several times, then it's not working. It's just a temporary solution. I'm sorry. I have so much to say about this. Shoo, I can't use my stick if you keep licking my hand. Now let's talk to Venus.
I should apologize, Grace. Saying that I was chosen like I'm somehow more special, I really didn't mean it that way. I hope you can...
Shouldn't take it like that.
I'm sorry. It looks like I'll be doing that a lot. Lady Aphrodite said I'm ready, but I don't know.
Having second thoughts? If so, now's probably the time to mention it.
I would never do that to Lady Aphrodite. I'm just nervous.
That's understandable.
If I can ask, what does it feel like after it happened? Do you feel different?
Yeah, this is the best option I can think
I'm not
of.
sure. It happened so fast, I didn't know what to think. Calliope died, and then all this happened.
You didn't remember anything? About her? Who she was? She was just gone?
Yeah. Isn't that the point of all this?
I just wanted to be sure. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it could be real.
Your name's really Venus, huh?
Everybody asks me that. Even the other idols. Maybe that's why Lady Aphrodite noticed me in the first place. She says it was fated to be. I say it's because my mama was a diehard hippie.
How do you know Aphrodite exactly?
So I was working at this homeless shelter, right? A couple of years ago, and she came in with one of the older residents. And she was there in this, like, amazing dress. And she's sitting with this guy and really listening to him. Like, they were old friends or something. I just thought, what is someone like her doing in a place like this? So, I just went over and introduced myself.
That's it?
She's a
Just like
sweetheart.
that.
Yeah. She came back to the shelter a few times, but by then, I guess she'd taken an interest in me instead.
Yeah. Because she's sweet. She took the initiative. She's empathetic. She's already working with people in crisis. It's, a perfect vessel in Aphrodite's eyes.
Are you really okay with all this? You know what's gonna happen, right?
I saw a lot of people in crisis at the shelter. I knew something was wrong with Lady Aphrodite. She's in so much pain, Grace. She won't let you see how much.
But to sacrifice yourself?
Eros called me one night desperate. She wouldn't stop screaming. She didn't know where she was.
It is
She's
horrible.
a good person, Grace. A good soul. She deserves mercy.
But you don't deserve for that to be put on you. Because you're a person too. Like, I'm not going to say this is wrong. That's not going to help her.
You probably need to get ready. I shouldn't keep you.
No. This is Lady Aphrodite's big night, not mine.
No, it is your
It'll
night.
be yours
too.
later, won't it?
Yeah,
If I fail.
yeah. I guess it will.
I hope I don't. Okay, let's talk to Apollo quickly.
Back again.
I don't think I'll have a chance to talk to Aphrodite. Not before, you know.
Not surprising. Surely Persephone must have realized that.
How? She's never been to one of these things. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'd do now.
You have two choices, Grace. Either you do as she asks and sing her to her rest,
At which point Venus won't have Aphrodite's memories yet.
or you somehow convince her to remain with us and hope she's grateful.
And doesn't regret it. Or get angry at me for ruining her party.
Do what you feel is right. It's a risk either way.
Have you spoken with Venus? She seems really...
Nice, earnest, a genuinely good person.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's not an accident. Ever since the war, Aphrodite has sought out the kindest, the most innocent souls to be her successors. She chooses them because she believes that over time, it might make her a better person. A more worthy person.
That doesn't
Better
work.
if she chose people who are, I don't know, more resilient.
I suppose that depends on your definition of strength. Grace.
Exactly.
I should get back out there.
Yeah, that's the thing that people need to realize is that empathy makes, and being sensitive to other people's emotions is a superpower. It's not a fun one, I can assure you. But it is a superpower and it does make you resilient. And, you know, going through trauma and dealing with trauma does make you resilient. I consider myself to be a very resilient person. Yeah. But it's like, you know, being resilient also means realizing when you need to ask for help. Okay, let's cross our fingers. I will cry. The song hits home. Okay, I'm afraid of Shushu licking all over me though.
I have tried so hard, fought for so long, but in the end, I must bid you all farewell once again. But before I go, I would like us all to remember the sacrifices that brought us here, to this strange new world. This time, it is with the help of our lovely muse that we shall be guided. Let them rise. We let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. Since the beginning we were hidden. We held court from up above. 'Twas the golden age of Greece, by the queen of love. But a plague of hate was spreading, and there were all just standing by. Before we fell to our knees begging, we fell from the sky. We let them
Rise, we let it happen.
we
Waited for too long.
We thought we
Shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong.
Our so-called brother Aries sold his soul forevermore. He so loved our military. He became their dog of war. He denounced his loving family, and with more dogs and greed, on a plate gladly delivered everything that more dogs need. He
Wait,
betrayed us and
we let him.
with
The
the
mortal souls long gone.
we thought we were untouchable. We
We
were
were
wrong.
wrong. We were wrong.
We can feel we have a bigger
Girl,
night.
it'll come in.
Be wary as they
Find
find
you
you
to
to
tear you limb from limb.
charge you
You
and
will spin
spit
you,
you,
parade you in a smile.
I thought my
Life
life
was
was
over.
over, and a God answered my prayer.
But I ignored. Saved me when I fell.
Yes, the
Now it's been I abhorred. Rescued me from hell. That's nothing was said to me. Deal with our enemy's enemy. Secret weapons my captors let go. know what you gave to me. It's always the strings again. Bad time or show your ass, shoo shoo. Believe I'm hearing today. Memories upstairs, nothing to say. I can't imagine. Like a child grew up too fast. There's some love can't get past the past. What good is a flame when everything's ash? I can't imagine. There's no excuse but mortals can tell. You know, there's no sweet release. It's ongoing. You know, everyone's here to bid me farewell. Can you imagine? I can't imagine this really happened. I won't let you weep. You know it's too late. See me sleep. Pity my fate. My memories won't let me be. Lost in a moment. Lost in a song. Lost in a moment. Lost in a song. Lost in a moment.
My sister, where we're all headed to nobody knows. We have so much history and we're all caught in its throes. Sweet Aphrodite, I know there's no one like you. That's why I'll never know how you can carry the weight. The goddess of loves, never felt so much hate. Drown in a sea of your fate. Lost
In a moment, lost in a song. Lost in a moment, lost in a song. Lost in a moment.
There's fire
And you, yes,
Aphrodite
returns,
she'll
never
never
forget.
forget. Finally we'll be free. Lost
In a moment,
lost in a song.
lost in a moment, lost in a moment, lost in a moment, lost in a moment.
Mother, is it true? You've
I
chosen
did
to
it again.
Live. I have chosen to live. I'm so sorry, Venus. I made you so many promises, dearest.
and I won't be able to keep them.
My lady,
You're doing better service.
all I ever wanted was for you to be happy. If this is your wish, I'll be with you at every step.
I as well. Always.
I hope none of us regret this choice in the days to come. But thank you.
It has to be better than doing the same thing over and
Yep.
over.
Does it? It could also be far worse.
Then find something
Don't
else.
talk like that, Mother. We can fight
Yeah.
this.
I'm so very tired, my loves, but I will. I'll try. Now then, Grace. You need
It's not easy, but you can
No
do it,
doubt
baby.
regarding Calliope's death. Have you any suspicions as to who might be responsible?
I know, baby. Yeah, mommy cried a little bit. It's okay.
Calliope was at the reliquary when she was attacked, but I only know of 3 people who were there.
And you're sure none of them are responsible, Grace?
I thought maybe Medusa, but I've spoken to her and I think it's someone else.
Calliope came to see us that night. She was agitated, frightened even, but she wouldn't explain why.
She said she had a plan. It must have been the reliquary.
But you saw her? Why wasn't this mentioned earlier?
Well, we knew something was wrong. We were concerned, but not enough to intervene. If only we'd known she intended to go to the reliquary. How on earth did she even get in?
She used the key, the one Pan gave her.
Hmm.
When Calliope arrived, she dropped it. Then she laughed and said she'd better not lose it because Pan won't give me another key to the reliquary. I didn't know it was important.
What? There's your help, Grace. I can't give you any better.
Come now, Mother. It's time you rested. It's been a long night.
If I don't, I suppose you'll both gang up on me again. Very well.
I did it again. I'm so glad. Oh, but that song just gets
So,
me.
did they have anything helpful?
I gave him every opportunity to tell me. He said he didn't know what happened to Calliope.
Just because he gave her the key doesn't necessarily make that a lie.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? I thought you suspected him. What side are you on?
I'm not on any side. I'm just trying to be objective. Are you all right, Grace? You seem troubled.
What you said earlier about Calliope's memories coming back.
That wasn't how I wanted you to find out. I'm sorry. If I might suggest, speak with Persephone about it when you get a chance. It might be good for you.
You think she could help? Persephone?
Persephone and I have our problems, but I can't deny she is insightful. She'll surprise you.
I might do that. Thanks.
How are things with Persephone? Is she helping as much as you thought?
Yeah, but I don't know why. She might still be trying to figure out what use I am to her.
All I mean to ask is, has she said anything?
About...
No. Never mind. It's none of my business. Please forget I asked. Give my regards to Persephone when you see her.
Shushumoy?
Apollo. Always so dramatic. Well done, by the way.
Hold
You
on,
may be the
Shushu.
first person ever to talk sense into Aphrodite.
I wouldn't say talking sense into her. I would say, like, it's showing her that the way she was doing things wasn't working. You know. I wouldn't put it that way. It's a little invalidating to put it that way. But, you know, Persephone is hardened. Well, on the surface.
Why didn't you tell me what it was really all about? The party? Or the veil lifting? And Calliope's memories eventually returning?
Yeah, either.
She was okay.
It's not something you can prepare for. I thought this was the best way. I remember the last time I passed on my Eidolon. 1952. I was married to, well, so you'd call him a gangster. More of a thug. A mean, vicious little thug. Persephone saved me from him. Tore his head clean off. But not before he fired a shotgun into her chest.
Damn.
My chest? Whatever.
Damn, that's dark.
Do you remember who you were before?
I still am her. Chastity, that is. You can see why I switched names. I remember being disgusted I was ever that weak. Persephone made me strong. But it never really goes away. We all have our sordid history, our personal horrors, building up like sediment around our souls. You can't let it bury you, Grace. You are the only one who can keep your head afloat.
I gotta go with the flirt option. But yeah, damn. I mean, it makes sense that Persephone chose someone with an abusive husband because that was her experience. And so she can help this other person. Like, that makes sense. Like, you can see a pattern of, like, who the idols choose as, like, their successor, if you will. So, like, that makes sense.
You're incredible. You know that?
There's no need to be facetious, Grace.
No, really.
I am incredible. It's true. It's good that you recognize this.
Okay, I take it back.
Oh, you can't take it back,
Oh, they're
Grace.
cute.
I would have thought you'd learned that by now.
We're gonna celebrate her! Yay!
After centuries of cruel injustice, everybody working against me. Every idol but for one, violent without a plea. I couldn't reach the resolution when you and I, I'm queen of the underdog, and you grace. Something seems familiar about you. How we met some lifetime ago.
I don't know the song, I'm just trying to go along with it.
Gods like me don't have too much to hope for. The rules been fixed throughout the ages. So I have forged a daring vow. I would like to make some changes. You see, we can win the revolution. You and I, you and I. I'm queen of the underworld, and you grace. You are a queen. You're old, you're dominion, and in my opinion, you're on the right track. It sounds like they heard you defied or usurped you. It's time
magic kick on right back.
I like this one better than the Apollo one.
Got one big mouth on you, don't you? Yet it's me who's closing in. Think I like that mouth on you, won't you? You've overstayed your
What a
time to go
tease!
home.
What a
Get outta
fucking
here, Grace.
tease! She's scared. She's scared, but what a tease! That was fun! I want to play more. Yeah, I want to play more. That was funky. It was, that was good. Come on. Jesus. I like exploring these other routes.
Oh, hi, Grace. I
Right.
can just call you Grace, right?
That's my name. Where's Freddie?
She went out to get. We were gonna watch TV while we waited, but, well, here you are.
What, you and Freddie are friends now? When did this happen?
When I came looking for you, Freddie has this movie that I've never seen. Super cool, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, would you rather not share your mortal friends? Anyway, I guess Athena wants
Hermes
to
is
talk.
cool.
I can zip us over to Olympus anytime, if you're free.
Do I have a choice about seeing Athena? I'm not in the habit of being at anyone's beck and call.
I mean, I guess you could say no, but I wouldn't. If Athena wants something, she's gonna get it eventually. She had that look in her eyes, like she really wants to talk to you.
It
She
sounds
can
weird in the
always come
pitch.
here. Everyone else does.
Athena entered the mortal world? And she doesn't do that ever. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine. Okay.
How
Sorry.
does Athena manage never entering the mortal world?
She doesn't have to, I guess. Everyone brings her everything she needs. And that creepy owl of hers? Apollo says it's her eyes out in the world. It's everywhere. Watching.
So what,
Ugh.
she just never leaves the building?
She'll go to the reliquary and places like that. Just never where mortals are. She wears a toga and calls cars iron horses.
Oh, she's old school.
So this is what you do? Ferry people around?
I'm the god of messengers, baby. Travelers, doorways, any kind of transition, really. The old Hermes said that the transition part made even more sense for me, which, extra cool, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They're
I
chill.
can connect any two doorways anywhere, just like that. So it's super easy to take people wherever. I don't mind.
You mentioned the old Hermes a lot. You knew him?
Yeah, I was homeless for a while. It wasn't a great time, and he took me in. Everyone's on the same journey.
Says freedom on
he
his
used to say.
jacket.
Only the roads are different.
Mm.
And then he went on his journey. Man, I still miss him every day.
Wait, isn't he still inside you? Aren't you kind of the same person now?
Not yet. It's only been a year. Maybe I'll feel him again one day. That'd be nice.
I guess that is a way of looking at it. It's like this person that you drew close to that, like, chose you to be their successor, and then they go and, it'd be nice to feel them within you, I guess. Not like, don't take it in a sexual way. You know, I can relate. Yeah.
You say it's easy, but do you like doing all these errands?
Huh. Yeah, I never thought about it. It's nice to have a purpose. Athena is super sweet, and she has a big, important job. Why wouldn't I want to help her out?
You can't be this nice. Are you for real?
Oh, well, the old Hermes used to say that a willingness to serve is more important than a willingness to be served.
No, both are important. Gotta let people do things for you, you know, because then they can serve too. It's a, yeah.
I suppose there's no point in
both
putting it
important.
off. Do your thing. Take me to Olympus.
Okay. Oh, when you see Freddie, tell her I'm sorry I couldn't stick around for the movie. And mind if I say something?
Sure.
You've changed. I mean, from the person I met when I first came here. When, you know, you got it together really quick.
I mean,
Thanks, I guess.
when you met me, there was a dead body. The mind can't. The mind goes into flight or fight in that type of situation. Oh, I forgot I could choose a second trait. Okay. I think I want to do clever as a second trait. Sometimes you need to think your way out of a problem, right? This Grace is sneakier, smarter, and witty. I think it'd be a cool combination. You know, like there's... Like, she's in your face when she needs to be, and then at other times it's like cunning. You know? Yeah. That could be fun.
There you are, Grace. Do have a seat.
The dialogue's out of
I
sync.
prefer stand, thanks.
Oh, it fixed.
As you like. You've certainly been busy, haven't you? Everywhere I turn, there you are. Including the reliquary. Oh. I'm uncertain how you got access, but even you must have realized it's off limits. Particularly for your mortal friend.
I really do not
But
like
you know
her.
what happened there. That's where Calliope was attacked. Yet it's not where she died, Grace, is it? So because she made it all the way to my apartment, we shouldn't care why she was bleeding to death along the way. You think our judgment was rash?
Yes, it was.
It was. In truth, I worried that giving you time, letting us all get to know you, would make it harder in the end. I am sorry, Grace.
That does not
You may
make
not
sense.
believe it, but I care deeply. I care about what happens to you and to all the idols. You care about me? That's a laugh. You sit up here in your tower and whatever humanity you might have once had, whatever wisdom, it's eroded away to nothing. The only thing you care about is making sure it doesn't all shatter. Not on your watch.
Get her.
Zeus was the first to leave. King of the gods. And we don't even know what became of him. Vanished into the ether.
Because it was the god?
Poseidon was next. Walked out into the seas, never to be heard from again. Ares betrayed us. Hephaestus saved us. Hades was murdered. And by one of our own. The list goes on.
Yeah, so you add to it. And your reasoning here is that if you gave me a chance to prove my innocence, that I would make it harder? 'Cause you'd get to know me? That does not make any sense.
So you add to it. I show up and you kill me off because you can't be too careful. We are dying, Grace.
So you'll kill
I don't
more?
mean diminishing or drifting apart. I mean our immortality is disappearing. Very soon now, the idols will be no more. We are a legacy that spans millennia, dating back to the very dawn of humankind. So yes, I care. I will do anything and everything in my power to avoid that fate, even if it appears unfair.
Ah.
It's too bad. I've been an idol for 5 minutes, and I've been out there solving problems you've all wrestled with for how long now?
Yeah.
I could have helped you, Athena. I could have helped all of you. But you don't see that, do you? You're so busy holding on to what you have. You can't see what you're throwing away.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've put a great deal on your shoulders, Grace. I do. All I called you here to ask is that you please not make my job more difficult than it already is.
My
If
priority
you have any other
is to
questions
prove
or
my
concerns,
innocence.
now's the time to
I
bring
don't
them up.
care about how hard it makes your job.
Who has access to the reliquary? Is it anyone with a key, or does it matter? You gained access, so clearly it is not difficult.
That's not
to get.
answering my question.
Speaking of which, I don't suppose you'll tell me who gave you that key.
No, because you won't even tell me who can access the reliquary. You couldn't even answer my question. So why would I answer yours? Tell me.
Give it to me. Athena, I had that key all along. You what? It's just like you thought. I used it to attack Calliope that night. Then I brought her back home to finish her off. A mortal with a plan, baby. Stole my way into godhood. Watch me roar. That's not funny, Grace. What's funny is that you thought I'd tell you without getting anything in return.
Yep.
Speaking of the reliquary, you went there, right? Once Hecate told you what happened? Yeah, I was not impressed by the delay. If you had known about that, the night Calliope died, would it have made a difference? The chances are exceedingly small that you attacked her there, it's true. Yet, Calliope was weakened, which made her more vulnerable prey for an enterprising mortal. One she knew. Perhaps the incidents are connected, perhaps not. I cannot afford the risk of uncertainty, Grace. I'm sorry.
No, like, with your reasoning, though. Like, we barely knew her. We didn't know that she was a fucking Greek goddess. We didn't know that. And even if we did, we would have been like, I don't fucking believe you. You know?
Alright, let's talk about Medusa. Met her, have you? I just have to know why. Of all the people you could have working for you, why her? We could have left her behind. I elected to bring her because, in the end, she is my responsibility. But Medusa didn't want charity. She volunteered to work in my service. It's trying at times. Now, if there isn't anything else,
I wonder when was the last time she passed on her idol on.
what do you know of Pan? Pan? That's not a name I expected to hear. Been sniffing around you, has he? I have some suspicions, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Pan lurks at the edges because he likes it there, seeking out whatever profit he thinks he can get away with. Avoid him, dear, or he'll stick to you like gum to the bottom of your shoe. Okay, so you don't like Pan much. I get that.
No one does.
But do you think he could kill someone? We've all killed, my dear. I was once a warrior queen, feared by mortals and gods alike. Another idol, I mean. Is that where your investigation has led you? To Pan? Sort of, but I feel like I'm missing something important. Maybe the goddess of wisdom could help me out? It would be helpful to know what Calliope was doing at the reliquary, but she's not available to ask. Not until you regain her memories, at least. Why not put off the trial until then? Seems like a good way to solve all this. Yeah? And trust what you decide to share? I think not.
She's such a snake. She's the Medusa.
I guess I'll get back to my investigation. I am rooting for you, Grace. If there's another way to resolve this, any way at all, I will take it. Will you? Really? Good luck. Feel free to take a cookie on your way out.
No, I don't trust you or your cookies. She didn't take a cookie. Ha! We're thinking.
Don't take it personally, Grace. Athena's first instinct is to follow the rules whenever things get rough. As if she believes that if the idols don't blindly follow every rule to the letter, we'll dissolve into utter chaos.
Well, is she right?
Probably.
Do you think she's telling the truth about the idols dying out?
I'm not sure. I mean, if it is true, why hasn't she told the rest of the chorus?
Yeah.
It sounds like she doesn't trust you.
Well, the feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
At any rate, I'm afraid we're going to have to disappoint her again.
Uh-oh. What now?
You need to go back to the reliquary, Grace.
You know, Athena said something to me. That it'd be nice to know what Calliope was doing there in the first place.
And she's correct.
It's the only piece of the puzzle we're missing. Calliope went there because she had a plan. But what plan? If she left clues behind, wouldn't Hecate have found them already? That's a really good question.
We can't ask Calliope what her plan was. But you might be able to remember what she was doing there.
Her memories? But I thought...
That it will take years, yes. But if you go somewhere important to Calliope, or touch something special to her, you'll get flashes, feelings.
Do you want Grace to go to the reliquary so she can have deja vu?
I'm willing to wager the place Calliope met her fate has left its mark in Grace's psyche. We have only to uncover it.
I mean, that's true. Like, what caused her death? That'd leave, like, a very strong impression. Like, spiritually. Especially in a location. You know, sights and smells and environments, like, absorb that kind of energy. I mean, I believe that.
Last time Freddie and I were there, Hecate wouldn't let us into the reliquary. Not without Athena's permission.
I'm certainly not suggesting we ask Athena for permission.
You mean...
A week ago, I would have said breaking into the reliquary was impossible. Yet it appears Hecate can be surprised. If her book says she will be.
Let's hope the book says that again, I guess.
Unless you've some other plan. I'm all ears, as they say.
What about the alarms? I'm not eager to have Asterion chasing me through the fog.
Calliope snuck in without setting off any alarms?
At least at first. Well, I'll be following in Calliope's footsteps, won't I? What if I follow the wrong footstep and set them off?
Then they discover you and we apologize profusely.
Will not be a good look, though, just saying.
And you wouldn't get your answers.
Are you sure about this? You want me to wander around hoping something comes to me?
I do know something about how memories work after the transition, but no, I'm not certain. You want certainty? Wait until your trial. Without discovering more, the outcome of that is certain.
What if Medusa is lying? What about Pan? We could look into him some more, couldn't we?
Oh, my, you're just full of ideas, aren't you? Do you have any suggestions regarding how we might go about doing that? Deja vu it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there really no other way? It seems a bit desperate.
That's because we are desperate, Grace. Either we take this shot at learning the truth, or we overthrow Athena and the chorus by force, and disregard this stupid trial.
That would be suicide.
She's joking, right? She's joking, right?
No.
Let's say I do this. What am I hoping to find?
Some memory of who attacked Calliope, or why she was there. Anything we could work with. I've spoken to almost all the idols, and every single one says they hadn't seen or heard from her. If she was keeping to herself, then why now? What started this? We're missing something important, Grace.
Yeah.
What if Grace goes there and the memory she sees is that she attacked Calliope? A Grace from the future. It'd be a twist.
I love Freddy.
Back to the reliquary it is.
Any idea how you want to do this, Grace? Because I'm game to help.
Cool. I'm sure we can figure something out.
I can't go in with you. Hecate would sense me right away. I will, however, stay close by.
They're so cute.
If anything happens, I'll come. Hecate won't stop me. The Minotaur won't stop me. Nothing will.
Gosh, it almost seems like you care.
Ugh, can we just get on with this already?
Oh, poor Freddy. Yeah, oh shit, it's gonna automatically go to the reliquary. I cannot deal with that right now. Okay, fine. We'll just deal with all the emotional, really hard shit this episode. And then we'll end it, because it's already getting long.
I fail to see what advice I could provide to you, Farishta Bandi. It's just Freddy. I'm unfamiliar with mortal affairs.
First time I've heard her full name.
I do, however, have tea.
Then let's drink tea. And we can talk about books. You have a lot of them.
That would be acceptable.
I haven't tried this way yet. I'm nervous.
Do not worry. It is written that I am not alerted to Grace's presence for another 14 minutes.
Then how do you know?
Guess I'll keep talking then.
Oh god, that's funny.
Okay, first part down. Now I finally get to see what the reliquary actually...
Those doors are
Looks
actually
like-
Greek mythology.
Pretty impressive, innit? Don't wander around. Labyrinths are kind of my thing, but you'll get lost. Also, are you supposed to be here?
Oh yeah, I didn't. He was so in love with Hecate my other playthrough, he didn't bat an eye.
Hecate told me I could look around, so long as I don't touch anything.
They said that?
Yeah, she did. I'll make it quick, I promise. You can even come with me. if you
Totally
like.
seemed like a lie.
Yeah, I gotta ask Kate. She's really specific about this stuff, and I don't want to make her mad.
Yeah. Wait for that, probably.
Oh no, wait! Oh, this is so bad.
Oh. Poor Steven.
Okay. I don't hear anything. I think I'm alright. Sorry I had to leave you back there, Freddy. I hope you're okay. First things first, How do I do this? Where do I even start? Calliope must have been here. She could have stood in this very spot. Maybe if I just focus.
That's so cool. So cool. That's Grace's theme is in the
Yeah, it's
background.
weird. Like, I've definitely been here before.
Okay, let's just quickly go through all of these.
I don't get any feeling from that. Will I know it when I see it?
Okay.
A weapon? A musical instrument? Maybe it's both.
People make all sorts of noises in this building.
What did Freddy say about mazes? Was it always go left? Or go left and then go right?
Don't ask me. I'm from a small town, and I get lost there.
Is this an armory too?
Apple? There's
Freddy,
no way.
are you out there? Can you hear me? What am I doing? All that'll do is tell everyone where I am. They should really charge for tours. It's kind of amazing.
If they need money. It looks like a golden
I don't even know
snitch
what
on there.
language that is.
It's Quidditch. Oh, beautiful. I love sculpture.
Shouldn't that be in a museum somewhere?
Here we go. Brace ourselves.
This is it. Calliope was here. She was standing right here. And she...
So cool.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're so androgynous. Okay.
I didn't mean anything. I didn't even touch it, honest.
Oh, they're so androgynous and sexy, but also super scary.
Okay then.
Run away!
What's happening? Why didn't it work? Oh. Grace? Freddy! We've got to run. My powers don't work on them. They just keep coming.
every time. Oh, I wiped off the glitter I had on my face from a kid.
Oh God, Freddy.
By the gods. You summoned the Furies.
What?
Those beings were the Furies, beyond all our laws. Not idols, but the embodiment of retribution. How did you draw them here?
I didn't. There was a big mirror, but I didn't even touch it.
There is only one mirror of which you could be speaking. That used by the goddess Nyx to contact the Fates. Using the mirror would not have brought the Furies down upon you. Not unless the Fates themselves decreed it.
I don't care what brought them. They killed Freddy. You need to help her.
I have no power over life and death, Grace. None of us have that. This was no defense or spell of the reliquaries. I do not have the power to summon the Furies, and I know none who do. You should consider yourself fortunate, Grace. They do not desist until retribution has been exacted. Leave. Pray the knowledge you obtained was worth the price.
No, I'm not leaving Freddy. Not like this. All this magic. There has to be something. Don't tell me there's no way to undo this.
Come. There's nothing more to be done.
I don't wanna do this today. I'm very sensitive. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this here tonight because I've already played a lot of games tonight. So, yeah, we're gonna leave it here. Okay. So, yeah, this episode was pretty heavy with learning more about Persephone, her story, and then about Aphrodite's story and helping her with her PTSD and not passing on her Eidolon. And then, you know, of course, Freddy and the reliquary. Yeah, it's, you know, the beginning, like, it's definitely, like, more, well, this whole game's dark, but it's, like, this is where it's just, like, yeah, really hard to handle, but, you know, as someone that's dealt with PTSD and, abusive figures, like, I can relate a lot to these characters, and, you know, playing games like this one, like, it really holds a special place in my heart, because it can help me work through these things myself. I think that's the beauty about games. Actually, there have been studies that have shown that playing games can help you with easing your PTSD and working through it. So, you know, just an interesting theory out there. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and for supporting me. Yeah, it really means a lot. Yeah, in the next video, there will definitely be a lot of really interesting plot going on and some fun songs in there. In this episode, there was only one, and it was very emotional. So, yeah. I'll have more Luigi's Mansion soon. and Super Mario RPG. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any recommendations of games that I can play that are kind of in this style or like RPG or story-based, then please drop a comment and let me know. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!